My Kitchen, My Rules. We're gonna make an easy casserole this evening that's pretty cheap and you can throw it together just after you come back in from a run like I did. And by the way, if you live in Cabarrus County and you want one of these fancy Farm Mill Run Club t-shirts that were sponsored by Lee Brown, see, all the money goes to the Cabarrus Victims Assistance Network, which is to support battered women and their kids. And you can buy one at the Farm Mill Brewing Company. So here's how we're gonna fix this dinner. Let me see if I can get I need a wide angle lens, I reckon. So you're gonna start off with a big old dollop of butter here. Ugh, well, that would have to work. And you skillet. Oh, I have my skillet kind of high. Y'all can hear it sizzling. And we're gonna melt that. And then we're gonna dump in a container of mirepoix, which you can buy this at the Harris Teeter. You can fix your own if you want to, but I'm kind of lazy sometimes. And it's just onion, carrots, and celery. Lord, listen to that butter going. Let's just toss this on in here. And really, my recipe does not call for carrots, but there's going to be some in here because that's what came in my mirepoix container, so Shazam. So that's going to get going there. And you're going to cook this for, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Basically, however long it takes at a medium heat until your onions are translucent. That's the thing you're looking for when you're getting that going. And then your house will smell like Thanksgiving because this is the base for all of your dressings and stuff like that. And so while that's going, I've got some over here in this pan, I made some honey syrup so that I can make a cocktail for my mama, because y'all know how I like to make mama a special adult beverage on Sunday afternoons when we have our Sunday supper. And so mama's getting something special because if y'all did not know, September, when I am making this episode, is National Honey Month. So, yay. And if y'all didn't know, honey is like the best thing you can have for I don't know, inflammatory, bacterial. It's like all the good things, but it's better for you. I didn't get my ice in advance because, you know, I don't plan real well for my show sometimes. I just put the camera on and show y'all what I'm fixing for supper. And supper includes adult beverages in this house. If you're a teetotaler, I still love you, but you would not have as much fun as we have with our items here. Cut that heat down a little bit while that's going. So our cocktail here is going to include Dixie vodka, which I like it because it's from South Carolina and we try to support the locals. So do about 2 fingers of Dixie vodka. And then we're going to add in some bourbon whiskey. And this is actually not bourbon whiskey. This one is some single malt, but that's what I had in the house. And so it is made in Charlotte by the Great Wagon Road Distilling Company. It's Roux. I don't know how you say it, but we're going to put in a finger of that. I reckon you could do 2, but that's going to be kind of a weird ratio. But you know, you do you. But in My Kitchen, My Rules, we do what Lee Brown says. And then we're going to add in some freshly squeezed lemon. Maybe a half an ounce or so, not too much because you'll get too much tart. And then I made this honey syrup, and honey syrup is basically just equal amounts of honey and water that you put in the saucepan and wait until your honey dissolved, and so it kind of looks like, you know, honey water basically. And we're going to put in as much of that as we put in the lemon. And that's put a little extra in Mama's so I don't, you know, make her feel too tipsy on Sunday before she eats supper. Because, you know, you got to look after your mother. And let me get a spoon here. I'll use the back end of the one I used for the butter. Don't judge. I didn't do anything with the back end of the spoon. All right, Mama, come get your beverage and see what you think of your special drink for American Honey Month. Okay. So that's our cocktail. And Mama's still playing cards with the children, so I'll try mine and see what she'll think. I'm going to cut that, Mama. That's a little too strong for what you'll like. We're going to cut it with some water. That's how we roll. Now it's ready for you, Mama. Okay. That's good. I can taste the lemon in specific. Okay, so now that we've got our veggies over here, our mirepoix's about done. The next thing, I forgot to put some Worcestershire in there because frankly it goes every time you put some veggies in and meat. I got a new bottle of Lee and Perrin because I ran out. I'm always running out of butter and Worcestershire and sugar. They're like my favorite things. All right, now, well that looks and smells good. Okay, next item, we're going to add in our spices. So we need some ground pepper. And if you're new to My Kitchen, My Rules, welcome. We don't measure around here unless we have to, because with regular cooking, you don't have to measure if you can feel when things are ready, unless you're baking. You're baking, you better measure. Which way y'all see a pound cake behind me? We measured for that. You need some cumin, and I'm going to use enough, which is probably a teaspoon in a normal person's world. And then we're going to put in some crushed red pepper, like the kind y'all put on your pizza when you go out to eat. And if you don't put red pepper on your pizza, I feel sad for you. And we'll put in enough of that, probably like a half a teaspoon. Mama doesn't like it real spicy, so we're going to keep it easy for her. And then we need some chili powder. And let's see. You can tell it's been a humid summer, and some of these spices have gotten hung up in the container. And so let's put in, well, that's a dark one. Let's see. That's about right. I also have some of the really good chili powder from Mexico, but I didn't have that container. Actually, that one might be Mexican too. Let's see. That one is from, well, Florida. I reckon that's close enough. And so they know some spices in Florida. Let's mix that in a little bit. Ooh, I can smell the chili powder. Oh, it's so good. Okay. Now we're going to add in our beans. Okay. We've got Bush's chili beans with their sauce. Do not drain these, okay? Just dump the can right in there. There's your protein. And so far, if you're a vegan, you could eat this as long as you use butter that's like that ghee or something I've heard that y'all use. I don't know about that. And then we're going to add in some tomato sauce. And I'm using Vine Right for the first time. What I can't figure out is why at the Harris Teeter this brand is 29 cents when every other brand is 99 cents. I'm very suspicious, but I'm not so suspicious that I did not buy it, because y'all know that I am cheap. And I checked the label, and it does not have extra sugar added in. It's probably coming over from some suspicious Chinese manufacturer or something. I don't know, but it didn't say. It says distributed by somebody in Indiana, so I imagine it's all right. So we got 2 cans of tomato sauce, which is 16 ounces. If you can find a larger can, congratulations. We've had a run on tomato sauce at the Harris Teeter here lately. And then I need a can of, okay, so I don't know where I lost y'all because the video storage went away, and you see the spare husband sliding through the background. And so we're gonna add it. I rinsed my cannellini beans. That's why I was trying to go to commercial break for, because I don't really know why. Maybe one of y'all knows. You're supposed to always rinse these white kidney beans and get that juicy looking, I mean, it's kind of a weird texture to the sauce that it's in. The viscosity is strange. That's what I was looking for, viscosity. So anyway, we've got 1 can of white kidney beans or cannellinis, 16 ounces of tomato sauce, and now we're going to let it sit over here until everything is mixed in and made friends. You know, we're going to marry it up. So let that sit on the low heat for 5 minutes or thereabouts. Now, while that is making friends, we're going to put together I've got a mess going on, y'all. I don't like a messy kitchen. Oh, but you know, life is messy, and I guess your kitchen will be that same way. All right, so now we're going to put together the cornbread topping. Oh, I forgot to cut my oven on. Cut your oven on to 350. And see, my oven loves me. 350 is like my preset because I'm there almost all the time, except for my pound cake, which y'all know that cooks low and slow, so that was a different temperature. So in your very nice pan here, am I supposed to put the turkey in? I forgot to put the turkey in. Lord mercy. I am falling off here. You need a pound of ground turkey. I should have had that in there before the beans, but it'll be fine. I just have to cook it another second longer. It should have been in there with the mirepoix. But when you're making a casserole, there's a whole lot of forgiveness to be had, because casseroles forgive a whole lot of illnesses in the world. Part of me is wanting to just delete this video and start from scratch, but then again, I know how some of y'all are. You live the same way I do, and you're like, well, we have started it and we are going to have to finish it. Even if it doesn't come out as beautifully as we intended, we will persevere and make it happen. So we've tossed in 1.5 pounds of ground turkey over there. Dagnabbit, I should have had that in there with the mirepoix. Oh well. Well, now I'm glad I had it sitting on the counter where I could look at it. Okay, so now you need some cornbread mix. I'm using Martha White because they don't have sugar added. Y'all, a lot of these mixes have a lot of sugar added, so keep your eyes open. You need 3 containers of their cornbread mix or buttermilk cornbread. And that's a 6-ounce package. So look for the smaller 6-ounce package, and you need 3 of them. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're gonna mix in some eggs and some milk. See, this is not complicated. It's just a fair number of ingredients. So those of y'all that are allergic to recipes with a lot of ingredients, just, you know, suck it up. All right, you need 2/3 of a cup of milk, which I had already measured out because I'm trying to be more friendly to television cooking, you know. And we need 2 eggs. There's one, and got another one right here. I'm kind of wishing that my family would get busy building the chicken coop so I could have fresh eggs, but they have not gotten excited about that yet. So we'll just have to be hopeful that my dad and Timmy will go out and get me some chickens going at some point. Y'all should vote in the comments if you think Timmy ought to do a chicken coop for me and have some fresh eggs so that I could sell them. He would make some money. Would y'all buy fresh eggs from Timmy if he had some poultry in the backyard? I think you should raise your hands if you would buy it from Timmy. All right, so that batter is looking a little bit dry tonight. So let's add a wee tiny bit more milk to it, because when you don't measure, you can just kind of play with things, which is probably why I shouldn't have measured out the 2/3 of a cup, which this recipe calls for, because it's just gonna mess it up for me. See, I'm better off when I can gauge it on my own, because this is really what you want your cornbread batter to look like. You want it to be somewhat goopy, but not a ball of dough, you know. That's just not fun. All right, now we're gonna put this with my cocktail. You know, National Honey Month and stuff, and this being social. We need a 9 to 13, so your official ticket to the Baptist church right here. And I have pre-greased it prior to y'all coming on the show tonight. Hey, with some spray batter. Let me check my turkey over here now, make sure it's getting browned in the mixture, which is browning just fine. This might actually be the way I fix it in the future, because y'all know turkey's a very lean meat, and so it can cook pretty dry. So we'll get it in here. It's cooking fine. All right, so now we're going to put this batter into our 9 by 13, and that's your cornbread base for this casserole. And then as soon as you get this in the pan, as soon as my turkey mixture is brown, you know, now that it's in there finally browning, yay me for forgetting that, then we're going to put that on top of the cornbread batter. And while our oven is heating up, I'm going to send y'all to the commercial break here for the sponsors I do not yet have. And I'll be right back to show you what it looks like before it goes in the oven. So see, even with the mistake, that only added a couple of minutes. And now we've got the turkey mixture ready and bubbling. It looks like something my daddy used to make us for supper called witch's brew, which was basically everything we had in the pantry tossed into a pan together. So y'all can see it's very chilly looking, and you're just going to put this on top of the cornbread base that you put into your casserole dish. And see, Shazam, you got a whole meal in a pan in a casserole dish now. We'll have to wash that separate. It's not a one-pan deal, but you know, not too many. Get that spread out. And now we're going to put it in the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes, or whenever you look at the edges, and you can look down in your dish and see when the cornbread is starting to turn brown. That's when it'll be done. Just wait. It's really good. Okay, so we're at the midway point with our casserole, and we got 5 minutes, well actually more than midway, we got 5 minutes to go. So get you some cheddar cheese or some Mexican cheese or mozzarella or frankly Colby Jack. I don't care what kind of cheese you have. We're using double cheddar because that is what I have in the house, and it was on sale at the Harris Teeter. You know, when they run that buy 2 get 3 free special, which means my house is always slammed full of cheese. It freezes, by the way. When you find it on sale, just buy some and freeze it. And I know you're supposed to buy cheese and shred it yourself because of preservatives and stuff. Don't at me. I ain't got time to shred all the time. Sometimes I do if I feel like it, but that is not today. So I'm basically putting on a whole bag of cheese because cheese has dairy, and that is good for your bone density. So we need more cheese. And now we'll stick it back in the oven for 5 more minutes and try not to step on my child who is army crawling across the floor. Y'all can't even see him, but I have a 14-year-old army crawling behind me. And we're gonna put that in for 5 more minutes. And then we're gonna have a super yummy supper. Straight out of the oven. Now tell me that doesn't look good. Y'all try this chili cornbread casserole. It's perfect in fall and winter, and I guess in the summer, but for us it's fall and winter. Let me see a picture of it in the comments. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.